What we want to do is take a look at how can we front load those expenses during the years in your 60s or maybe even 50s if you're retiring early, when you have the most strength, the most vim, the most vigor, the most desire, when you really want to fulfill that list. Hey folks, Colin Richards here. I'm president and founder of Lord & Richards, and once again, I'm thrilled to be with you today here on Lord & Richards Radio. It's an exciting time to be talking about finances and financial independence. We are in an era when investments are doing pretty well, especially over the long term. And a lot of folks now are shifting their focus away from things like, what exactly do I need to hold in my portfolio today in order to take advantage of the latest craze? And folks are wisely starting to look at, wait a minute, what do I need to do to make sure I take advantage of the good times, but don't get wiped out during the bad times? And one of the top questions that I'm fielding is, Colin, as you look at my portfolio, as you look at what we've saved, our nest egg, what we've built up over the years of hard work, as you look at it, do you think I have enough? And it's an honest and sincere question, because I'm meeting with folks just like you every single day, and they all want the same thing. They want to be financially independent, never to have to go back to work, to be able to do the things that you love with the people that you love for the reasons that are important to you and the places you want to go. And that's a great definition of financial independence, but getting there is a bigger challenge than just stating it as a goal. Yes, of course, we're going to have the written goal, as we always do at Lord & Richards, of achieving financial independence. But we're going to need to establish smaller goals to get us there along the way. And the first is determining, hey, do I have enough? And this is not something where we just use like a thumbnail, where we use some broadly used ratio. What we're going to do is we're going to actually, as we sit down together and develop your financial independence review, so you can know that you have enough to retire, we're going to prepare a budget. We're going to prepare documents that detail what it is that you need in retirement. And don't worry, we're here to help. We're here to sort through a lot of the things that maybe you don't have time to think about or worry about, because the last thing we want to do is bury you in paperwork, right? That's our job. That's what our team, our fantastic advisors at Lord & Richards are doing every single day. But we will work together with you to develop that expense plan for now all the way through retirement so we know what you need. Then what we're going to do is test your current portfolio and what you're currently doing to see, will that get you there? Isn't that good to know? To get a financial independence review that tests your ability to make it not just now, but through all the years of retirement and no longer taking in outside income. And as a result of that test, we're going to develop a probability that you are going to be successful. And it's great when we can sit down and say, hey, folks, the probability is already high with what you're doing. Now all we need to do is look to ways to improve it and to build wealth further. But sometimes when we run those tests, we discover, oh, hey, you know what? If we continue what we're doing right now, you may well run out of money before you run out of life. That is not an option for my clients. That is not an option, because we don't want to be always fearful of running out. One thing that will do is make you probably ultra conservative in your early years when you actually want to be out and doing things with the people that you love. When you have the physical strength, the stamina, and the desire to travel or to spend more time with others or to invest time in hobbies and other things. So that's not the result we want. We don't want to come back and say, well, it looks pretty tight. You're going to have to kind of live on beanies and weenies now for the next few years. Absolutely not a good idea. So the first thing we're going to do is say, well, wait a minute, before we declare you don't have enough, what if we made some changes and we tested those as well? What if we took your current portfolio and developed a new plan, a new roadmap, and said, well, maybe we can take the same dollars and you don't have to put off retirement. You don't have to scrimp on your budget. You don't have to, even right now, maybe save in excess of your ability to do that without radical changes in your lifestyle. Those are all negative. Don't get me wrong. There are times when that might be necessary. But we want to start first by saying maybe it's just a matter of how you've positioned it. Maybe your portfolio is positioned in ways that are popular to other financial advisors or pundits on the radio or TV, but won't actually survive the test of time. So what we're going to do is we're going to develop a new roadmap, a new financial independence roadmap to help you get through retirement with the same assets. Sometimes we can even develop a plan where you can live on less money than you have without fear of running out and have extra money to enhance your lifestyle. Recently, I've been talking a lot to my clients about this because naturally, as we get older, we tend to get a little more conservative. Maybe we're not spending money. And I've encouraged them. I said, look, folks, I've had the privilege of helping people a long time, often right through their entire life expectancy. And I see at the end, sometimes we've built up a huge pile to pass on to the next generation, and that wasn't our goal. Right? It's one thing if that's your goal, right? If you're saying, look, my central aim and focus is to build up a great legacy for my family. That's what I want. Most of my clients don't express it quite that way. What they'll share with me is, yes, Colin, for my children, or especially to take care of my spouse, I want to make sure that there's something to pass on, especially if I die earlier than I hope. But that goal is secondary to making sure that we get through retirement without running out of money. And so when I see that happen, when I see folks maybe develop a plan that or bring in a plan where either they're going to run out of money, or I see my own clients maybe living so conservatively that now they're going to have a huge pile to pass on. One of my encouragements is, let us help you by developing a series of plans that you can compare and contrast to see, hey, maybe I could actually spend more without having more money in my investment accounts. Maybe there's a way to structure this so that I don't have that fear over the top of my head, because I see it so often. As we get into our 60s, and many people are focused on retirement at that time, not all. Some of my clients want to work forever. That's kind of me. I love what I do, and I plan to work as long as I'm capable of doing it. But for those who are looking forward to maybe stepping away from that full-time job, taking a part-time job or consulting, or just not working as much and enjoying more free time with those that you love, then what we want to do is take a look at how can we front load those expenses during the years in your 60s or maybe even 50s if you're retiring early, when you have the most strength, the most vim, the most vigor, the most desire, when you really want to fulfill that list. And both you and if you're married, your spouse are strong, healthy, and able to get out and about and really enjoy life. So kind of the opposite of having a big pile at the end, unless that's your goal. But most of my clients first prioritize their own needs in retirement and then look at things like legacy and what can I do to make life wonderful for those that I leave behind and for causes that are important to me. And so the first thing we're going to need to do, folks, is we're going to need to schedule a time to just sit down and visit, have a wonderful conversation around this idea of financial independence. And we're going to look at your portfolio and determine, is it already set up to get you there? Could it be improved on? Are there potential pitfalls that have yet to be addressed? And we're going to talk about those more in further segments. Are there things that could sabotage your retirement? Well, let's get those out of the way. Let's get safety nets in place to take care of those. And so in our coming segments, we're going to talk a little bit about some of those pitfalls, some of those things that may rob you in retirement, and making sure that as a part of your overall financial independence roadmap, that you have a plan in place to deal with each of these potential pitfalls in retirement. In the meantime, it's just as simple as sitting down with our wonderful team, having an entirely complimentary conversation around a warm cup of coffee or tea, if you like that, and our freshly baked cookies at Lord & Richards. It simply starts with a phone call.